Imagine the first day of fasting as a silent rehearsal of an ancient survival ritual. Your stomach growls loudly, yet the sound is not hunger, it is adaptation waking slowly. The brain expects glucose, like a city accustomed to constant electricity flowing through every street. When the supply vanishes, fear rises quietly, whispering that your strength is beginning to fail. But inside your biology, something older than civilization begins to take command with remarkable precision. Researchers from Harvard Medical School describe this moment as a metabolic pivot encoded through human evolution. Insulin falls sharply, and the digestive system closes its gates like a factory entering night mode. Your liver becomes the final guardian of energy, releasing glycogen reserves like a backup battery. Each molecule of stored sugar leaves quietly, keeping your brain awake during this unexpected transition. Paradoxically, your body does not shut down, it becomes more alert and sharply focused instead. Norepinephrine rises in your bloodstream, sharpening attention the way a hunter steadies vision before movement. According to studies referenced by the National Institutes of Health, this response increases vigilance and wakefulness. It is not weakness, but a biological alarm designed to help you search for food. Your heart beats slightly faster, and your senses stretch outward like antennas scanning distant horizons. This is the moment when many people misinterpret adaptation as danger and discomfort as failure. But your cells are not collapsing. They are reorganizing their priorities with disciplined efficiency and order. The body begins sorting everything it owns, deciding what to protect and what to release. Proteins are preserved carefully, while excess sugars and unstable molecules are marked for disposal. Scientists writing in Cell Metabolism describe this stage as resource triage within the metabolic network. Your body is not starving, it is renegotiating its contract with energy and dependence. The craving you feel is not a cry for food, it is a withdrawal from sugar. For decades, glucose has been your constant companion, steady, predictable, immediate, and emotionally comforting. Now the contract is broken, and your brain demands the familiar reward it once trusted. Yet, beneath that discomfort lies a deeper clarity, like fog lifting slowly from a forgotten landscape. The first 24 hours are not a collapse, but a quiet biological revolution unfolding. This is the awakening of the survival code, written long before modern life began shaping you. Before we continue, if you've been enjoying this video so far, leave a comment with 1 so I know this content is valuable to you. And so we can keep creating meaningful videos that you won't want to miss. On the second day, the body stops negotiating gently and begins enforcing a deeper metabolic discipline. Your head feels heavy, and every step carries the quiet resistance of unfamiliar biological territory. This experience is often called the keto flu, not a sickness, but a transition in progress. Dizziness, fatigue, and irritability appear like storm clouds gathering above an ancient metabolic landscape within you. Your brain protests loudly, asking why its reliable stream of glucose has suddenly disappeared without warning. But beneath that discomfort, the liver prepares a different covenant between survival and stored energy reserves. Triglycerides break apart, releasing fatty acids that travel through your bloodstream like caravans, crossing desert roads. Inside the liver, they are transformed into ketone bodies, the fuel of scarcity and endurance. Researchers from the University of Oxford describe ketones as alternative currencies the brain can readily accept. Unlike glucose, these molecules cross the blood-brain barrier with elegance, precision, and evolutionary purpose. Neurons receive them gratefully, stabilizing focus the way a lighthouse steadies ships during approaching storms. Yet, before clarity arrives, your body resists. Because every adaptation begins with a brief period of friction. Electrolytes shift quietly, and sodium, potassium, and magnesium begin leaving the body through increased fluid loss. Clinicians from the Mayo Clinic warn that imbalances here may trigger palpitations, weakness, or irregular heart rhythms. This is not a sign of failure, but a reminder that fasting demands respect and awareness. Your muscles feel heavier because water is leaving glycogen stores, shrinking them like emptied reservoirs after drought. At the same time, your metabolism learns something profoundly liberating about its own hidden autonomy. For the first time in years, your body stops depending entirely on external meals for stability. This state is called metabolic freedom, when stored fat becomes both burden and salvation at once. Like an alchemist refining metal, your cells convert excess fat into heat, motion, and sustained vitality. Once the headache softens, a strange calm emerges, subtle yet unmistakable in its quiet confidence. Your thoughts grow lighter, as if noise has been removed from the circuitry of attention. Scientists at the National Institutes of Health note improved alertness during ketosis, linked to norepinephrine signaling. This is not euphoria, but a steady, composed awareness shaped by millions of years of survival. The body has accepted the new fuel, and the resistance begins dissolving into disciplined adaptation. And in this stillness, you realize something unexpected. You were never running out of energy. You were learning how to reclaim it from the reserves your body guarded in silence. On the fourth day, the noise of discomfort fades, and a quieter intelligence begins speaking within. Your mind feels clearer, like frost melting from glass after sunrise across a silent valley horizon. Researchers from Harvard Medical School describe rising BDNF as fertilizer nurturing new neuronal connections across networks. The brain treats this molecule like rain returning to soil that once endured a harsh season. According to findings shared by the Salk Institute, fasting triggers signaling pathways supporting learning and memory. You experience it not as stimulation, but as gentle steadiness, guiding thought through deliberate, measured focus. This sensation feels like your nervous system removing clutter, leaving only essential circuits lighting the interior. Biologists call this biological minimalism, when the body preserves necessity and discards burdens accumulated across years. Inflammatory signals soften and tissues rest quietly, like workers dismissed early from an overworked factory floor. Autophagy begins recycling damaged components, converting cellular debris into resources for renewal and preservation within microenvironments. Scientists at the National Institutes of Health describe this process as housekeeping written into evolutionary memory. Old mitochondria are retired, while resilient replacements rise slowly, strengthening endurance at its quiet foundation beneath. You might notice fewer aches, as if tension dissolved from joints previously burdened by metabolic noise. The body no longer argues with hunger. It negotiates peace through cooperation between organs and energy. Researchers from Stanford Medicine note reductions in oxidative stress when metabolic demand shifts away from digestion. Energy, once consumed by constant meals, now flows inward, repairing microscopic structures that carried silent fatigue. Your awareness deepens, not through stimulation, but through absence, like hearing echoes inside a cathedral chamber. This clarity is not mystical. It reflects neurochemical balance emerging from disciplined metabolic reorganization over time. Some researchers describe this state as primal alertness, where perception widens without urgency or restlessness present. Your thoughts feel aligned like tools arranged neatly across a workbench before careful craftsmanship begins unfolding. The brain is not escaping hunger. It is discovering competence hidden beneath layers of abundance past. And with each hour, you sense that restraint is transforming into intelligence, subtle yet undeniably powerful. This is the day when fasting stops feeling punitive and begins resembling deliberate biological refinement instead. The body is not diminishing. It is curating itself, choosing clarity over noise and excess gently. And in that quiet curation, you realize your mind is growing stronger by learning simplicity again. On the fifth day, the body shifts from adaptation into restoration, moving inward with deliberate and measured intention. Energy no longer chases hunger signals. It travels quietly toward tissues that once carried unnoticed fatigue. Researchers from the University of Southern California describe prolonged fasting as a trigger for immune system regeneration. Old white blood cells are dismantled, like retired soldiers handing their armor to a younger generation. According to studies led by Walter Longo, this breakdown conserves resources during scarcity and prepares renewal afterward. When nourishment eventually returns, the bone marrow responds, releasing newly formed immune cells with remarkable efficiency. You may not feel fireworks or spectacle, only a calm steadiness spreading through the interior architecture. Biologists at the NIH compare this phase to maintenance crews repairing roads while traffic finally disappears. Autophagy deepens and damaged proteins are recycled, reducing metabolic clutter that once burdened cellular communication. Mitochondria undergo selection, where weaker structures give way to stronger engines, supporting resilience under restrained conditions. This is not a miracle, but a disciplined orchestration written into evolutionary survival across countless generations. Researchers from Stanford Medicine note shifts in inflammatory markers, reflecting reduced biological tension within vulnerable tissues. It feels as though your body is listening to itself after years of constant external demands. Muscles rest more efficiently, and your heartbeat carries a quieter rhythm, neither rushed nor depleted by urgency. Energy is not being created, it is being redirected toward maintenance, preservation, and structural integrity. Some describe this moment as silent recovery, when healing occurs without spectacle or dramatic sensation. You sense patience in your physiology, the same patience forests hold while roots repair beneath winter ground. The digestive system remains paused, and organs once overloaded with processing enjoy a rare intermission of effort. Researchers from Harvard Medical School suggest that reduced digestive load may allow more resources for restorative processes. Yet fasting is not invincibility, it is a negotiation, a balance between wisdom and biological limits. Your body is not fighting disease, it is strengthening its ability to respond when challenges arise. This experience does not promise immortality, it offers awareness of how deeply the body can reorganize. And as this quiet repair continues, you begin to see your physiology not as machinery. You see it as a living archive, constantly editing, refining, and preparing you for the days ahead. On the sixth day, your body feels lighter, not from disappearance, but from a new alignment within. Metabolism runs quieter, like an engine tuned carefully after years of constant and unnecessary acceleration. Researchers from the University of Oxford describe this phase as metabolic efficiency rather than starvation or collapse. Your body learns to spend energy with intention, the way an experienced traveler organizes limited provisions wisely. Ketone levels rise steadily, and the brain operates with calm precision instead of restless urgency or noise. Some studies from the Mayo Clinic observe improved cognitive endurance during sustained nutritional ketosis under controlled supervision. You do not feel weaker, you feel slower in movement, yet sharper in awareness and perception. This is the paradox of prolonged fasting, where restraint does not shrink consciousness, it concentrates it deliberately. Yet beneath this serenity, another truth quietly emerges, one that deserves respect and careful attention. Glycogen reserves have long disappeared, and fat stores are carrying the majority of your survival weight. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health warn that prolonged deprivation may begin reallocating protein from muscle. The body does not do this carelessly, it does it cautiously as a final conservation strategy. Your strength is not failing, it is negotiating, choosing which structures remain essential for continuation. This is where wisdom matters, because resilience has beauty, but every system still carries biological limits. Electrolytes may drift downward, and blood pressure can soften, creating dizziness when rising or standing upright. Medical literature from Stanford Medicine highlights risks involving heart rhythm if severe mineral depletion continues unaddressed. This is not a dramatic collapse, it is a whisper, a reminder spoken through fragile thresholds. The body is asking a question, not about courage, but about responsibility toward its design. You realize fasting is not a challenge conquered, it is a dialogue between ambition and biology. Some people chase extremity, but evolution favored sustainability, the ability to recover, repair, and continue forward. Strength is not found in pushing beyond limits. It is found in knowing when to return. And as the seventh day arrives, your awareness deepens, carrying humility rather than triumph or spectacle. You see your body as an ancient instrument, capable of endurance, yet deserving thoughtful stewardship always. The masterpiece here is not deprivation, it is understanding the delicate balance that keeps you alive. And at this edge, you recognize that wisdom is the true reward of the seventh day. On the morning after the seventh day, the world feels familiar, yet newly illuminated around you. Your senses sharpen toward food, not with desperation, but with reverence for nourishment and renewal. Researchers from Harvard Medical School describe refeeding as a critical physiological transition rather than a casual moment. Insulin rises gently again, reopening cellular doors that remained partially closed throughout your metabolic expedition. The digestive system awakens slowly, like a theater lifting its curtains after a long and silent intermission. Your body does not celebrate abundance recklessly. It requests patience, moderation, and respect for fragile biochemical balance. Medical literature from the Cleveland Clinic warns that rapid refeeding may disturb electrolytes and cardiac stability. So the first bite should be quiet, thoughtful, almost ceremonial in its intention and meaning. You are not rewarding endurance. You are guiding the body safely back from an extraordinary landscape. Protein enters cautiously, supporting muscles that preserved strength through adaptation rather than forceful exertion or strain. Minerals return, and water shifts inward, restoring cellular tone like rain-soaking roots after patient drought. This phase is not dramatic, yet physicians describe it as one of the most delicate thresholds. You realize fasting was never a conquest of willpower. It was a conversation with evolution itself. For thousands of years, scarcity shaped our biology, teaching the body to endure and reorganize intelligently. Researchers from the World Health Organization emphasize that fasting responses vary widely across individuals and health conditions. What feels profound for one person may become risky for another without medical guidance or context. Wisdom here is not the pursuit of extremes, but the practice of informed and compassionate self-care. You begin to notice something deeper than physical change, a shift in how you interpret hunger. It no longer feels like an emergency. It feels like a signal, meaningful yet negotiable. Your body is not an opponent demanding control. It is a partner asking for stewardship. The true benefit of fasting is not weight, clarity, or discipline, but perspective on constraint. You see how energy moves, how systems protect you, how life preserves itself through adaptation. And in that understanding, you gain something larger than resilience. You gain responsibility toward your biology. You leave the 7-day journey not as a victor, but as a student of your own design. And as you return to ordinary meals, you carry a quiet truth forward with you. The body remembers everything, especially the moments when you finally stopped, listened, and gave it space. Before we continue, if you've been enjoying this video so far, leave a comment with 1, so I know this content is valuable to you. And so we can keep creating meaningful videos that you won't want to miss.